Hey guys, Andrew Shrout. I'm here in the sideboard with Zach Turgeon. How's it going, Zach?
Good, good.
You have shown up today with kind of a number out of left field. You are playing a mono-red Moggcatcher deck.
Yes, Moggcatcher.
So tell me a little about why you chose to play this deck.
I've been playing this deck for a while. It fits the style of things I like to do. I like prison decks, and you don't get to play them in Standard much. You don't get to play them in Modern much, but in Legacy, it's fair game.
Okay, so these are... This deck kind of has the same core as like the old Dragon Stompy decks. And, the kind of the later versions with werewolves and all that. You're blood mooning people.
Yeah, it's all about blood mooning, Trinisphering, Chalice of the Void, that type of stuff. You drop something on turn 1 and stop your opponent from doing their plan.
Sure. Okay. And so once you initiate step A, which is shut them down, stop them from doing whatever they're doing. Then you back that up with goblins, with Mog catching and going and catching some goblins.
Yep, it's a half and half deck. There's humans and goblins, and the humans are Prophetic Flamespeaker and Moggcatcher, and the goblins all get got by the Moggcatcher.
The Moggcatcher.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little about Moggcatcher in particular. What are you getting with it? How has it been for you?
Moggcatcher's fantastic. If you untap with that, you win most of the time. It's, it doesn't look like much on the surface, but when you're going and getting a goblin and putting it directly into play, I've won tons of games today by going and getting Goblin Settler, blowing up a land, and then next turn going and getting Kiki-Jiki and just locking them out of the game. They don't have lands anymore.
Okay, yeah, a one of Kiki-Jiki and then several cards that are quite abusable with Kiki-Jiki.
Yeah, Siege Gang Commander and stuff.
Siege Gang Commander to make a big pile of goblins, Murderous Redcap to kill small creatures, a Tuk-Tuk Scrapper.
Yeah, got to kill those Batter Skulls, got to kill those Jites.
And then Goblin Settler, of course, a card I did not know what that card did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus, is people are finally realizing they printed Stone Rain on a creature.
Yeah, Vintage Masters All-Star, Goblin Settler, definitely showing up and doing some work. So in addition to the Moggcatcher package, you're actually packing a full 4 Prophetic Flamespeaker.
Yes. It's a 3-drop, which is kind of narrow for the deck. Normally, there used to be a Handwear Watchkeep, because you could play it off 2 and a red.
Right.
This one's a bit harder to cast at 1 red, which even though it's a mono red deck, you got 8 soul lands there, so it's hard to cast, but it's really powerful.
Sure. Especially
Especially if you get an equipment on it, and it's card advantage in red. There's no card advantage in red.
Okay, fair. So just in order to make up the ground that you lose from, of course, you're playing Simian Spirit Guide.
Yeah, you pitch your whole hand to do your one trick. That guy, finds your gas.
All right, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
And then kind of to back him up, you have a couple of 1-drops, actually, a package of 3 equipment. Ivumazawa's Jite, Sword of Fire and Ice, and Sword of Light and Shadow.
Yeah. Jite is the best, but unfortunately it's legendary.
Sure.
Sword of Fire and Ice is second best on him. Drawing a bunch of cards, especially with his ability, shooting down Delvers, and the Light and Shadow helps with your Stoneforge Mystics and the Germ on the Batter Skull.
Okay. So what are you hoping to play against when you're playing this style of deck?
Elves. Elves they're hit by all your lock pieces. They're running like 2 forests normally, so all the Blood Moon stuff works. All their stuff costs 1, and Trinisphere is a nightmare for them trying to combo off.
Sure. Okay, so if you're on the play, they just don't get to play Magic?
Most of the time.
Fair enough. Okay. That feels a little kind of specific. Is there...
the Delver decks are also pretty good. Basically, decks that are trying to not play fair. If you're not running basic lands, you have a problem. If you're running all 1-drops, you have a problem. It's once you hit something with the lock piece, you can go to town on them with your little variety of guys.
Fair enough. All right, and then I suppose I would next ask, what are you hoping to avoid playing against? But I think you already answered that. Basically, anything that is not playing fair, I suppose?
Yeah, anything that is... Well, no, I'm good at things not playing fair. I'm bad at things playing fair. Goblins, Death and Taxes, those things, your locks don't do much against them. They're playing a very similar game, except they get to play creatures that aren't Moggcatcher and aren't Tuk-Tuk Scrapper.
Okay, fair. So so decks with kind of robust mana bases.
Yeah,
more varied casting.
Yeah, more varied casting costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Death and Taxes then.
Yeah, Death and Taxes is pretty bad. Miracles is a bit iffy. It comes down to a lot of the sideboard cards in that one.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, so you have you have Sulfur Elementals for the Death and Taxes.
The Death and Taxes, they come in Miracles too, just as a can't be countered guy.
Sure. Okay. All right. Yeah. So tell me a little about how your tournament has gone so far. I know you're sitting at 6-1. Is that right?
We're 5-1.
We're 5-1. There we go.
5-1.
Okay.
Yeah. 5-1. Took a loss to a Bug Delver deck that just countered everything I could do. But other than that, it's been good. Been very good.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll be rooting for you. Thanks for sitting down with me, man.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Stick around. We've got plenty more coverage coming of the Legacy Open here in Worcester.